Oh, and we're here again with another Dice Masters preview. I feel like I'm going to have to come up with a better catchphrase or way of starting these things if I keep on doing them. But hey, here we go. We have another one. This time it's Civil War. WizKids was once again kind enough to send me the starter set, the playmat, which features the same art that we'll see on one of the cards, which on one of the starter cards I'll be showing here momentarily. And we also have 3 packs that we'll be opening. So our first basic action is Brother Fights Brother with the familiar art that we just saw on the playmat. A 4 cost. Each player KOs a character die they control. Then Global, pay shield when a character die you control is KO'd, gain 1 life. The Global with the life gain I can see being somewhat handy, however life gain still has the issue that you can't go above 20 life, so it's an interesting card. I kind of like it. You're forcing each other to KO a character, so that could very easily, if your opponent only has 1 or 2 characters out, you can force them to KO something they want to keep out as their lone blocker, and you can KO something like a sidekick. So it's alright. I could see it being more useful in draft. I'm not sure how much use it'll have outside of that. Still, an interesting idea. And actually we're going to get a lot of stuff like that, where it's a tit for tat, where I do one thing and you repeat the same effect. Civil War. Deal 2 damage to target opposing character die. The controller of that character die may deal 2 damage to target character die you control. So if you have bigger things and they can survive it, it's not too bad, and it only costs 2. Another one that's not super exciting, but yeah, it could have some usefulness. Driven Underground, a 3 cost. KO target blocking character die, and on burst, or double burst, also deal 1 damage to target opponent. Then Global, pay Bolt, deal 1 damage to target character die that has already been damaged this turn. So it's another one where if you can deal damage to something and then just basically ping off with that Global, it's not too bad. You have to find some way though of dealing damage to everything. It might be handy with something like we saw the Poison Ivy in the last set, that when she attacks, she deals 1 damage to everything. Well, then you could dump bolts into that to deal more damage. Granted, I don't think this is going to be replacing Magic Missile anytime soon, but still, it has its places. I mean, it's fine for limited format. Being able to KO a blocking character, you can force a block. It's not terrible. Escape Incarceration, 3 cost. Move a die from your use pile into your prep area, and then Resistance. If a character die you control was KO'd this turn, move another die from your use pile to your prep area. So I actually like this one quite a bit. This gives us an ability like Iron Fists or like Sangan, I think that's how it's pronounced, from Yu-Gi-Oh!, where you can KO those characters and move a die to your prep area. Well, in this one you don't have to actually KO anything. You can just move the character automatically. So that's fairly handy. I like that. And then we have the new Resistance keyword there, so if you've already knocked something out, you get to do it twice. Yeah, I actually do like that one. I think that's going to be useful in multiple formats, and actually seeing some play in Unlimited. Field Promotion, 4 cost. Spin all your character die up 1 level, and on burst or double burst, instead spin all of your character die to level 3. That's potentially pretty strong. It's similar to what we saw with Focus Power, where you could spin 1 character die up or down, or spin 2 different target character dies up or down. So it's a similar ability, but kind of more powerful. Of course, it costs 1 more. I immediately think, I've long said my love of Colossus. With that rare Colossus, that's something that could be very useful. Just, I spin everything up to level 3, now you're going to take that damage from all those characters that are above level 2. So, Internal Dispute. 4 cost. Target opposing character die deals damage equal to its attack to a different target opposing character die. So this is kind of funny, actually. I like the name and the mechanics. So basically you're forcing 2 of your opponent's characters to fight each other. I'd like it a little bit better if they dealt damage to each other rather than just one to the other, but I still like it. I still think it's a clever idea, clever mechanic. It's a nice way to potentially KO one of your opponent's characters. Long Live the Resistance. 5 cost, so a little bit more expensive, but justifiably when we see this ability, gain 4 life. Out of the blue, boom, 4 life. And then if you have Resistance, if a character die you control was KO'd this turn, you gain 5 life instead. Once again, life gain, as I said before, you're capped at 20, so that still is a hindrance for life gain, but that is a lot of life to gain. If you team that with the super rare Ultraman, where you can very easily activate all 4 basic actions, or with the Beholder from Battle for Faerun, it could be a pretty easy way to gain some life. But now the global, what's almost more exciting about this card, is pay a mask, prevent all damage to you from one opposing die's when attacks ability. So, to a lesser extent, you have, if someone has a Serena and attacks with Serena, which would deal 2 damage to you, you can pay 1 mask and basically cancel that damage altogether. Even more importantly, if you're going against a ring team, the ring team, for every attacking character, as long as you have a mask, you can completely nullify their damage. I very much like having answers in the basic action card slot instead of in my team slots. So I like that card quite a bit. Suffering and Satisfaction. Choose an affiliation. Target character die with that affiliation gets +2 attack, and a different target character die with that affiliation gets -2 attack. You may only use this action if 2 dice in the field zone have the same affiliation. So this could be handy if you have a character like, say, Aunt May, who's already a 0/2, and you're attacking with Spider-Man, and you give Spider-Man +2 attack, and you give Aunt May a -2 attack. So it's alright, and it's a 2 cost. You're going to have a lot of Avengers and a lot of villains in this. So you have a way of giving a +2 attack to something that's in the same affiliation, so it's not too bad. And you're basically paying 2 energy to give +2 attack later on. So I don't hate it. Could be useful in draft, but I don't see it having a lot of play outside of that. The front line, 5 cost, unblocked attacking character dice gain +3 attack until end of turn, and global, pay a fist, target opposing character die can't block this turn unless your opponent pays 1 life. It's kind of fun how the basic action itself and the global sort of play off of each other. The thought of, everything that goes unblocked getting +3 attack is pretty nasty. That's a lot of potential damage coming through, especially if you have a lot of weenie characters. But that 5 cost is going to be hard to reach for if you're playing a rush team, because you want low purchase cost things so you can get out quickly. But if you're stalling and you feel like you're running out of mojo, that could be a way to get your mojo back and just get through and crush your opponent. And lastly, we have probably my favorite of the bunch, Superhero Registration Act. 4 cost. Draw and roll 2 dice. And then Enlistment. Instead, draw and roll 3 dice unless your opponent KOs an opposing character die. So I like this card quite a bit. You have a card that's a 4 cost that does the exact same ability as Gearing Up with draw and roll 2 dice, but then it has the added bonus of the Enlistment. So if you get this out early and your opponent doesn't have anything out, you can almost be getting 3 dice every turn, or every time you use it, and sometimes your opponent isn't going to want to KO anything, so draw and rolling 3 dice, that's actually really good. I mean, this card basically makes Gearing Up completely irrelevant, because it's just as good as Gearing Up was, and better. Yeah, I like this for draft. I like this in most formats. I think it's a good, solid card that could easily be used pretty much anywhere. I think it's a really nice form of ramp, and anything that isn't Professor X is okay in my book. And there we have our 10 basic actions.